Alright guys, what's going on? So this video is going to be kind of like a frequently asked questions. I've got a few people that send me the same questions, and so I'm going to just go ahead and make a video to answer most of those questions, because half the time I have to tell you guys to go, watch certain videos anyways, because it already explains some things in those videos. But I'm going to just put together a little thing right now, answering some questions I don't have in videos and whatnot. First I'm going to go over, though, if you have questions about volume, and you have questions about how to scream with your diaphragm, I already have videos specifically for those. So please, if you have questions, go watch the video. To be honest, if my video didn't help you, there's probably not much more I can do for you. Remember, I'm not a vocal coach, and what I've been learning is that teaching someone to scream is not very easy. No one's been able to teach me how to do anything. I get a lot of people on YouTube telling me that I'm screaming wrong and I suck and blah da da da, and I go to their video section and they've got favorites of Avril Lavigne, so they're not able to actually teach me to scream. They only want to rag on me. So like I said, and I'm telling you, if you can teach me to scream more like the I don't really know how to describe it, but where you can actually hold your screams out really long and you can scream that yeah without being super loud, then go ahead and show me. Every time I try to make mine quieter, it just sounds too whispery. Yeah, when I try to do it like this, and I don't like that. So volume and diaphragm, please just go watch the videos I already have up for that. Going on to, a lot of people ask me, alright man, I got all the breathing techniques down and everything, but how do you actually make the scream sound? If it were as simple as saying hop on one foot, trust me, I would tell you. The actual scream sound, I have a video called Screaming the Process that tells you from an anatomical view. A lot of it is subconscious muscles. Even speaking, that way we have our own distinct voices, is just the way that our vocal cords are designed, and just the process, the phenomenon of it. Trying to, asking me how do you actually make that scream sound, and you're not talking about from an anatomical view, would be like going up to somebody who does a really good George W. Bush voice impression and saying, hey man, how do you sound like George Bush? He's not going to be able to tell you. It's one of those things where it's practice, practice, practice. Continuing on with that, a lot of people will send me emails, hey man, I really like this band, how do I scream like them? Once again, if I knew, don't you think that I would try screaming like them? It's one of those things, once again, where it's just practice, practice, practice. As humans, we have the ability to learn and imitate. Trust me, I know the frustration because I'm going through it too. I don't really, I've come to terms where I like my scream, but I too would like it to sound a little bit better, a little bit more powerful, but without being super loud. Sorry, that's my cell phone. There's just, certain things that even I would like to perfect my scream with. So, as far as how to scream like some of your favorite bands, the only thing I can really tell you is to listen to them and practice, practice, practice. Not a lot of people like As LA Dying and All That Remains, but I do, and so I'm actually listening to both of them a lot to try to see if I can get my scream to sound like them. Moving on to, this is a really weird one. I've had a couple people ask me, hey man, I can't tell if I'm screaming inhale or exhale. That blows my mind, how you don't know. When you're breathing, if someone told you, hey man, take a deep breath, you're not going to go, how do I do that? You're going to go, and that's inhaling. And if they tell you now let that breath out, you're going to go, which is exhaling. So of how you don't know if you're inhale screaming or exhale screaming is beyond me. Inhale screaming, you're taking air in. Exhale screaming, yeah! You're putting air out. As cheesy of a little test as it is, the only thing I can tell you, if you really do not know if you're inhaling or exhaling, take a little piece of paper, put it up next to your mouth, and do your scream. If it goes, if it doesn't really move at all, or if it goes onto your mouth, then you're inhaling. If you go, yeah, Lord, yeah, yeah, Let's exhale. That one I think should be common sense, but I guess some people just need help with that. Moving on to, a lot of people ask me, can you scream before puberty? This is something that I've never really had to experience with. For whatever reason, I know that death metal is going much towards the younger crowd lately. I don't know if it's an act of rebellion or what it is, but I've just noticed that death metal, hardcore metal, and everything is going even younger and younger as we go on. So I've never had that problem. I actually didn't even first attempt to scream. Even I was screaming wrong back then. I didn't even attempt to scream until I was about 14 or 15 years old. All I can tell you is that before puberty, our larynges and everything else in our voice box is not fully developed, and it's usually smaller and tighter, which gives you a higher pitched voice. That's why little kids have a higher pitched voice. So more than likely you could probably still scream. It's just going to be, that's going to probably be easier for you to do highs there, and then once you pass puberty, your scream is probably going to sound different. I wouldn't suggest trying to scream while going through puberty, because just like puberty affects your voice and you start getting those cracks and jumps in your voice, it's going to happen while you're screaming too. And the last thing anyone wants is to be on stage screaming and go, yeah, yeah! Because that's going to just sound really funny, actually. So, as far as the puberty thing, if you want to scream, and it's your passion and everything, and you haven't gone through puberty yet, then scream your heart out. It's not going to hurt anything as long as you're doing it correctly. Going through puberty, I wouldn't suggest screaming. After puberty, go ahead, and it's probably going to sound a little bit different though. Also, a lot of people have asked me, can girls scream? Once again, girls just naturally have smaller and tighter larynges and everything in their voice box. That's why males have a deeper voice than females. So once again, girls, you could probably do high-pitched screams a little bit easier. But as far as can girls scream, of course you can. I mean, look at Angela Gossow of Arch Enemy. Look at bands like Walls of Jericho, even Kitty from back in the day. They all had female screamers. I know personally some female screamers. I know a female screamer that can get lower than I can. And yes, she is very feminine, so. Anyway, and if you want to check her out, go check out myspace.com/yourchancetodie. Anyway, moving on. Yes, girls can scream. Let's see. And the last one, which should be a no-brainer because I say it in almost every one of my videos, is should screaming hurt? The answer is no. Now, while you're screaming, you're going to feel something. It's just like when you talk. You're going to feel something while you're speaking. It's just vibration. It's air going past your vocal cords and your larynges, creating vibration. So when I do my scream, I go, yeah! I feel a vibration, but it doesn't hurt me. And as you can see, I can scream! And come right out of it and go back to speaking. There's no change in my voice or anything. So no, screaming should not hurt. When you're first out trying, first starting to scream, and it might hurt because you're doing it wrong the first time. It's not just because you've never done it before that's going to hurt. So if you're screaming and your screaming is hurting, also you gotta kind of tell me how much it's hurting. Because if it's hurting really bad, you're tearing something up and you need to stop. If it's more, it just feels like you just ate like a spicy food or something, then you're just screaming wrong and you need to work on getting into the right scream. As far as that, that's mostly the frequently asked questions that I get. If you have other questions, then you can send them to me, but please, if I've already answered these questions here, don't send me any messages because it's just, I say the same thing over and over and over. Also, make sure before you ask me a question, you look at my videos, because most of the titles of them deal with what the video is actually about. Just, that's how I title things. Anyway, hope this might have answered some of your questions.